Everything that you've been seeing all the years is going to make sense in about 5 minutes. It's going to make total sense. I'm going to get crucified for this. I'm just letting you know, chat. I'm snitching, and I didn't know any of this, and I'm not going to sweep it up. I'm not into your guys' money. I want no part of this, and I'm fucking calling it out. So this right here, this paragraph, is being cited by this. The rise and the fall in the alt-right movement, in The Intercept. They got some pretty interesting stuff in this article. Jazon Reza Jorjani took the stage at a white supremacist conference in Washington, D.C. In light of the outcome of the recent election, in which I think the rise of the alt-right was a decisive factor, Jorjani said, it is especially meaningful for me to be here with you as the leader of what is frankly the most significant press in the alt-right. Just a month before, Jorjani had become editor-in-chief of Arctos Media. They soon combined forces in a shared office in a spacious loft in Alexandria, Virginia, to end any confusion over what the alt-right movement stood for and who its leaders were. Spencer Jorjani and Arctos chief executive Daniel Freiberg launched the alt-right corporation. In the earlier days, Jorjani and his business partners had tried to perfume their brown shirt musings as a style of opposition intellectualism. So you have this other crazy shit, and then you had Jorjani, which you're gonna see in a common theme, is pushing this opposition intellectualism. But he has no tolerance for any dissenting views, and like he said the movement had too many views. He said you had Christians on there, you had this. So I wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page. So I took the American money that's given to my country, and I used that money through various agents to support streamers who are on our side, support people on our side, and to attack people who are not. So you're wondering why there's so much of this content everywhere? This is the reason why. It's very fucking simple.
I thought to myself, if I can take the European New Right and this shit show that's the emerging American alt-right.
He called us a shit show. He called us a shit show. In 2017, that was Daily Stormer days. We were getting crazy. We were doing Charlottesville. And he says, this is out of control. I have fucking white trash everywhere. He said, quote, white trash. He said there's white trash everywhere. And they fucking calling me a sand monkey. As you'll see clearly many times over during this presentation, the one thing that keeps getting in his way and setting him back are these racist jerks who say all these racist things and call Iranians sand niggers. And he says that's actually what gets in his way back in 2017. But of course it failed and it was never revived, right? It was never revived again. Ain't that right? An Iranian American like Jorjani might seem an unusual figure to join the leadership of a white nationalist movement. For more than a year after joining forces with Spencer, Jorjani is now trying to distance himself from a movement that, by his own account, he helped design. It raised intriguing questions. The facade of white supremacist intellectualism has been steadily crumbling. But how did it happen and what's next? In 2015, Jorjani stumbled into the far right, he says. So he says he stumbled into it. He needed to find a publisher for his book, Prometheus and Atlas. So he Googled the term archaeofuturist, which he thought was an original phrase that described his work. He found that Arctos publishing writer had beat him to the term, but he also realized that Arctos might be interested in publishing his book. And that's what happened. The book was well received in extremist circles. So his satanic book, it's actually fully Gnostic and satanic, was well received. The book is paranoid and conspiratorial. In it, Jorjani writes that humanity is on the brink of uncovering psychic abilities like telepathy, clairvoyance, and precognition, right? Because you saw what he's into and what he's a member of. Parapsychism, which is Kabbalah. Because of this, he has told me in conversation, humans must create a perfect trust society, which comes down to racial homogeneity. Jorjani's historical myths and their superficial erudition in world historical vision have been tantalized to a far right that has been eager to legitimize itself by shedding racist signifiers. In place of, or addition to, crude recruiting pamphlets, there are publishing houses, jargon-filled blog screens, and flimsy science designed to confirm racist hypothesis. So no. Kabbalah as perennial fact. Yet ultimately his journey to the top of the far right didn't work out. Listen to this. I watched the corporation that was my brainchild turn into a magnet for white trash. You wonder why they're calling us Wignats? Well, you wonder why they're calling us plebs? So the first time around, he says it was destroyed by white trash. You're wondering why they're all freaking out now in the second go around? And he lamented the trolling he received for his post on altright.com. Iranians is brown poo-poo, people, kind of sums it up. Long story short, Wignats came and ruined the party.
To Defense Minister Lieberman, which was conveyed by apparent agents of Mossad. And the way that I know that this letter reached him, letter where I was saying basically, please don't bomb Iran. And look, if you see a coup, understand that even though it may have a nominally Aryan discourse, that means something completely different.
Don't be nervous by the Aryan claims of the opposition Iran. You can allow them because they're actually talking about Aryan in a fucking retarded Jewish way. They're all psyoped. Don't worry. Don't shoot at them. They're our guys. Don't call them names. Don't lie and call them feds online. Let them do whatever they want because they're our guys. Because they're helping the Jews. So all these guys are actually helping the Jews. All the people attacking us, chat, are actually helping the Jews. Are you hearing this?
Context of our civilization.
So he tells Mossad, this guy calls Mossad. So when they say you're done, you don't know who you're fucking with. They're talking about Mossad, which has a motherfucking intelligence division dedicated to online activities. They're talking about getting them to target you. I think he makes calls to Mossad in regards to Europeans and Americans. It wouldn't make sense that he only does it for Iranians. He makes the same calls to Mossad and says, hey, listen, there's this small ass guy on a thing called Odyssey. They're like, Odyssey, yes. He knows everything. We gotta shut him down. We gotta call him a spick, a nigger, a Jew, every name in the book. We need to shut him down. All right, I'm on it. And that's it. He calls this guy, some guy calls him, they're on pages together, and let's shut him down. Let's lie about him. Should we address the reality? No, of course not. Remember what happened last time? Come on now. Just call them names. Trust me, these people are fucking stupid. They won't believe anything. Now, if you look at the time he stops, guess who suddenly appears? At the same time he stops, Gahary suddenly appears. It looks like Gahary is his second attempt. It looks like his own personal attempt, absent all these other guys who interfered with him. Like Richard Spencer, like Freeberg. So he's doing his own thing now, just using Gahary. That's what's happening.
Regime change in Iran.
This is who you work for, Night Nation. This is who you work for, Flood. Sorry, whether you know it or not, this is who you're working for. What happened next? The optics war. He's behind Nick Fuentes in the optics war. What happened after 2017 when he was disgusted by the rednecks and the white trash? The optics war runs the white trash out. So these white trash ruined his Richard Spencer intellectual movement. So that's when they first called us Wignats. The term Wignat is post-Charlottesville, and it was used to describe white trash, ignorant racists who say niggers, who are ruining the intellectual movement. If you're not part of the intellectual movement, you're a Wignat, should be dismissed. America First was rained money upon, I saw with my own eyes, out of nowhere. More money than I've ever seen. And everybody jumped on board America First. And everybody hated the Wignats. When he got defamed because of the Wignats, he was called a racist. And his life got fucked up. So ever since his life got fucked up by the New York Times, he's gone quiet. And now he's working behind the scenes. Right here. As a result of a complex intelligence operation directing me out of London, M16, he's saying the feds got him. He's saying he got defamed as a racist here. And it's so weird, it's like, this is when the optics war started. So the minute that he got defamed as a racist because of Wignats, America First starts the optics war. You see a revival of all these weird, cringe, Richard Spencer type guys. And that's him again. But he just removed himself because he's been too embarrassed. A June 2016 interview on Red Ice Radio accelerated his rise amongst the alt-right syndicate. It says, has Trump's Iran war begun? Featuring Jazon, Reza, and Jorjani. And he brings him on as an expert, and this is how Jorjani got popular in the far-right movement from this appearance on Red Ice.
Once again,
Wait,
it is...
he was identitarian? So are you saying that Night Nation was identitarian? Identitarians are obsessed with Nordic culture? Isn't Jorjani claim he's half Nordic? Wasn't his best friend and co-conspirator a professor on Nordic studies? Isn't Adam Green Nordic? Isn't everybody and their mom in this movement Nordic? The reason they fetishized Scandinavian heritage is because of Nordic Israelism. So here he goes to Iran, Middle East chilling immediately. As soon as he brings this guy on, we've learned about this guy for an hour now. We know who he is. And we know how he's involved in operations to overthrow Iran. Right at this time, he's working on Project Jellyfish.
The most widely celebrated 20th century work of Persian literature, the most significant novel written in modern Iran, The Blind Owl. That book also delves deeply into Iranian spirituality.
Does this look fucking white power to you?
Really explores the
Does this look like fucking white power to you? Same fucking white power I'm hearing fucking everywhere. All you talk about with this guy for 2 fucking hours is goddamn fucking Iran. Then you get John Faxcroft getting fucking crucified by NJP fucking stands for saying this to you. So I guess Red Ice got him started, launched him, is pushing him, made him legitimate back in 2017. So it's weird. So it's like Jorjani seems to have learned an important lesson. That if he tries to do this psyop himself, he realizes that he's gonna get called a racist and a Nazi because of Wignats. So clearly what's going on is he's trying to get others to do it for him like a Harry. He starts this shit that's only supposed to be Gnostic, and it's only supposed to be intellectual, but like he said, it attracts white people, it attracts racists, it attracts truthers. Then they get bigger, they start saying nigger everywhere, so then you gotta have an optics war. So you do an optics war, but your optics guys are cat boys. Your optics guys are shills and Jews, and they get destroyed, and America first is gone. So now us Wignats start blooming again. We start blooming again. And then I swear to God, over making fun of logos for talking to a nigger, something all these guys do, they try to dox me, destroy my life, make a fucking panel to silence me in fear. But instead we keep going, and it turns out they keep going, attacking all Wignats. They start declaring war on Wignats. Again, telling us they're gonna kick us out, that we don't have the real money, we don't have the real viewers, and they're doing the same thing again. So, are they gonna get away with it? They got away with it last time. It worked last time. It worked last time. Let's see if it works again. Because Logos ran to his other guy and lost his sponsor, his Jew sponsor. Turns out Goldco's a Jew. Turns out D-Bot's a Jew. Turns out Dave Gahary is a Persian. Turns out Davis Lerman is a Freemason. Turns out NNR's an atheist. Turns out all these guys are drug addicts. We all believe in Gnosticism. David Lerman is a 33rd degree Freemason, and he's freaking out, yelling at people to make sure everyone knows that Arabians are white. And you can find him in his takes that are just like that, and you can find his motherfucking non-white Arabian audience saying Arabians are white. Total coincidence, chat. It's all a coincidence. Over here with Giuseppe, remember? At FTJ Media. Total coincidence. Run by a Persian. Total coincidence. What did Giuseppe say? Not to go down the toilet hole of white purity? And isn't he on FTJ? And isn't this run by a Persian? And doesn't this say that Persians are white? And doesn't this match every single fucking thing this asshole believes? And aren't they coming after me? So I need an apology. I seriously need an apology, my nation. You lied about me again. You keep lying about me, lying about my kids. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, so there you go, chat. So you're seeing how the employees of the latest form of Jorjani are calling me a Fed. His employees, Dave Gahary, who's running the new one, is doing the same thing again, which is why Logos and everyone affiliated with this website is okay with race mixing and is calling me a Fed. Don't worry, chat, he disappeared. This fucking psychotic guy who's pulling billions of dollars, millions of dollars, he just disappeared. I know the guys that he worked with are still around. They're still pushing the same thing. They have a different publisher. They have different academic. But trust me, chat, all of that is a coincidence.